Hey guys, what's going on? Time for another YouTube video. This one is a casting test video that I want to go through for you guys, and this is on a product that just won Best of Show at ICAST for Shimano. But before I get into this one, do me a favor, click subscribe down below. Also hit the get notifications bell. It's going to make sure our videos get into your feed. And if you have any questions, comments, about the reel, about the rod, the setup, casting, setting up a reel, leave them down below. We love helping you guys out as best we can. So what is the product? Well, it is the Curado DC. I'm going to grab it right here for you. 150 that won Best of Show at ICAST versus the original Curado DC, which I have right here, in a casting test. And we're using some stable items. I am actually switching the reels on the same rod, same lure, same line. So I spooled up both of these with 65-pound test Power Pro Super 8 Slick, the original version, the slicker version, V1, and 65 pound, 180 feet they both carried. So the 150 spool, this is 65 pound, which is like 12 pound diameter, 180 feet they carried. They are on a Curado 7'5" medium heavy rod that I use for like frogging or flipping. I've got a Rapala digital line counter here, and I've got a Jackal Kyera frog. So this frog is a 3/8 ounce frog. Little lightweight frog, no weights in it. We're casting normal weights because the claim with the new DC 150 is the MGL Spool III makes it better at casting a wider range and lighter baits because it's got lower startup inertia. But I know this reel incredibly well, and I know how well it does. But I feel like we're gonna see if the algorithm on the new one actually gives it more casting distance or fluidity. So let's start things off by setting up a DC reel. DC reels, I'm gonna cast this one out, make sure everything's clean on the line. Super clean, easy to cast. The trademark DC sound that everybody loves or hates, depending who you are. So let's show you how to set up a DC reel. I'm gonna set them up the exact same way so that we're not playing with lighter spool tensions or anything like that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the spool tension knob and tighten it up. So now you can see if I click the bail, it does not spin, right? So we're gonna back this off, put the frog in the background if I can, until that frog starts to drop. Keep backing it off. There it goes. A little bit too loose. You see how that overran a bit? So we're gonna just take that out, do it again. One more time, a little tension more. Get that out from underneath there. You just want that just falling, and then when it hits the ground, it stops. Okay, so that's how we're gonna set both reels up to keep them exactly the same. Now, the settings, obviously on the original DC, it was this little dial up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and open. So let's set it at number 4. Let's make a cast, count the distance, and then we'll go through all settings and then do it on the new one. First cast. Massive braking. You could feel the massive braking right away. Number 4 on this DC is not about distance. It's about unbelievable control. So let's set this to 0. If you guys can see that, that is at 0, and reel that in. I'll be shocked if this is an 80-foot cast. 68 feet, okay? 60, I'll do one more and push it a little harder because I know I've got the braking behind it. I mean, that's as hard as I can cast. So do that again, click that in here, hit reset. You can see zeros there. Consistent, 64. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that. 64 feet. So let's go to number 3. Oh, Jesus, I didn't click it in. Do it again. I mean, that's about as hard as I can cast. Do that one more time. Set it to 0. Okay, better. When I pushed it harder, 81 feet. All right, let's go to number 2, or number 3, I should say. So that's number 3 setting, which is that little dial right there. Everything stays the same, no touching the spool tension knob. Now, number 3 setting is traditionally used for fluorocarbon and monofilament, or if I'm using braid and I'm casting with a bit of a headwind, I like to use that. So we are set to zeros. 111. Okay, just from going from 4, which is the most restrictive and most computer assisted braking, to number 3, you gained almost 30 feet. Let's go to number 2. This setting, number 2 setting, is what they say is recommended for braided lines. I could see why. 0 backlash. Close that. Lock that in. Click zeros. Line counter at 0. So 111 was the last cast. So 84, I believe, 111, 81, 111. Not much difference. 113. Let's give it one more to see if it was just a wind gust or not. That one felt better. No backlash, no threat of a backlash. Set to zeros. Okay, little more distance, 125, 125. So let's go to number 1 now. So number 1 setting. Okay, line's nice and neat, same amount of line, same frog, same rod. Bombed that one. That's going to be huge. Zeros. See, I kind of like having this wide gap of distance control from the DC computer. So I like having, you know, a DC that if someone's new, it's training wheels at number 4. 136. Okay, so you got 4 very different results. Not very different. I'd say 2 and 3 are very similar, and I've always felt that the algorithm inside 2 and 3 are very similar. Number 4 is like massive braking, massive computer-assisted spool speed braking. And that's gonna be great, like I said, flipping and skipping docks, trees, casting into the wind, or new people to bait casting. On the other side, number 1, you still need a trained thumb. I do feather it right off the get, but it will get you the most distance. So when you do have the wind behind your back and you got to hit the cheap seats, number 1 is there for you. So let's cut this off, put on the new DC 150 and see what the difference is. All right, I'm gonna cast one out, set the spool tension for you, make sure there's no loose line. Make sure it's all clean. That did feel looser, I will tell you that. So we're gonna do the exact same spool tension method, and we'll go through the 4 settings on this reel, and we're gonna see if the MGL Spool 3 and the new algorithm or firmware update for IDC4 is doing better or worse. I don't think it can do much better because I really love the original one, but we'll see. All right, so spool tension first. Tighten it up, nothing moving. You can see the frog in the background, hopefully. I'm gonna back this out. There it goes. A little bit more. Little loose, just a hair loose. There it goes. It's a bit loose still. Good. Okay. So the way the new one works is not a dial. They got this right here, which is min to max, which is way easier because my eyes sometimes had a hard time seeing what number I was on because the number was so small printed. So we're gonna start this on max, okay? Not touching the spool tensioner for the entire thing, and we'll see how far this one casts. I'm gonna promise you that was not 84 or 81 feet. Number 4 right off the bat, you can notice way less braking than the original. So set this to 0. Got down 0 right there. Hopefully you can see it. Yeah, not bad. 112 on number 4, maximum braking. So right away, I'm going to tell you, this is not going to offer you the same amount of braking on that number 4 setting as the original Curado DC. So casting into a wall and expecting the DC braking to stop it, probably not going to happen. This thing is way freer right off the bat. So let's go to number 3 and see how it does. Okay, show you guys number 3. Wow. All right. Set this to 0s. 0s. Wow. It is a completely different feeling animal, this reel. The two are not very similar right now from my telling. 126, which is already better than what number 2 casted on the original one. Now, the trick is going to be, will this firmware allow increased distance, or is it going to fine-tune that pocket? Which I feel like it's fine-tuning in that pocket, that 100 to 130 foot pocket. Let's see. We're going to drop this down to number 2. Okay, so that's on the number 2 setting. No backlash. Bring this up, snap the line down, hit 0 from the 121 it was, or whatever it was, and let's see where we're at. I'm not going to say that was a ton more, but it felt equally as good, and I think this is, from what I'm telling, this is my first time casting this reel. It's a fine-tuning game. Yeah, 126. So same thing, basically. Let's do one more just to make sure. Same amount of line out. Okay. Set to 0s. It's almost like they've concentrated the DC braking curve. So not as restrictive on the one end, but not as big jumps in between. Yeah, totally. 130. I'm gonna attempt number 1. We'll see what happens. So 1 would be clicking it down to min, which is right there. Okay, that was on number 1. Let's see what happens. This one rides a fine line. I feel like without an educated thumb, you're getting yourself into trouble real fast on number 1. So we were 130 on the last one. I don't think you're going to be much different, to be honest with you. 131.8, but way less feeling in the braking. So it appears, if I slip back to number 2, which I felt like was the most successful, and number 3 was really good as well, the braking is just enough to not make you worry about it. So when you're casting on number, yeah, totally different animal. Like, I would almost tell people number 1 is not really a viable option unless you're looking for the loosest thing possible for like underhand flipping and skipping or whatever you're looking for. Let me set that to 0. I would say number 2 and 3 and 4 on this reel perform. 2 and 3 are similar to what 2 and 3 were on the old one. Number 4 is a far better casting. Number 1 is looser. Yeah, same thing, 123, 124. So there you have it, guys. That is a complete breakdown between the two. What I'm gonna give you is my review now, which I feel like the new Curado DC 150, the gen that won for 2026, is a tighter firmware curve algorithm in the braking. So you're seeing less of a wider gap. The original one went from 81 feet of distance to 130 feet. That's massive. That's 50 feet of difference between 4 settings. This one here is like 110 to 130 feet between the 4 settings. So it's a 20. So what they've done is taken that big wide curve and compressed it together. So I feel like you've got more fine tunability inside that range, but you have less of that, I'm gonna slam it up against a wall and block it like you had in the original number 4 setting. So overall, more finesse, better curve on the new DC, lighter baits because of the MGL Spool 3. I like this for distance, especially on number 4. But if you are really looking for the ultimate in control over, you know, a new bait caster, number 4 on the previous gen or an SLX DC using the IDC4 would be where I'd put my hat. But overall, feels great. They carry the same amount of line, they fish great, they got the same features, you know, Hagane body, you've got the micro module gearing, you got X-ship, you got the SARB 6+1 bearings, you got both left and right-handed in 6.2, 7.4, and 8.5 to 1. Great reel, really happy that I was able to test this, but if someone asks, I'm gonna tell you right now, you get more distance on number 4 on the new one, you ride that fine line on number 1 on the new one, but it feels a lot better in your hand. So there you have it, guys. If you can do me a favor, click subscribe down below. Also hit the get notifications bell. It's going to make sure our videos get into your feed. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. We love chatting with you guys. Talk to you soon. I hope you guys are all staying safe. Hope you're all doing well. Most importantly, hope you're all catching some fish. See you next time.